perhaps are immune to your charms.
I never hit you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
I don't know how to start this one.
Well, let me start by asking, do you want to return those whisks that I bought you?
No.
Okay. All right, cool.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
That's all.
That ties in perfectly to our podcast and to our little opening spiel.
All right, I got it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Nigel, if you had to get rid of one holiday, what would it be?
If I had to get rid of a holiday,
Yes. Like not a stupid one like Groundhog's Day. We're not doing that. Like it
like
needs to be a major
legitimate holiday.
Yes.
I don't think I would get rid of one of them.
But you had to.
But like, no.
Gun to your head.
No thanks.
There's not one holiday you could do without? The 4th of July?
Not really. I mean, the only one that does seem pointless is kind of like St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
Because, like, nothing really happens.
Right.
But because it's so close to my birthday, I'm just kind of like, oh, keeping it around.
Okay.
It's how people can remember when my birthday is.
Okay. Sure.
And I know you get rid of Easter and the other one.
New Year's Eve?
New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Because New Year's Eve does nothing.
Yeah. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Stupid holidays.
Yeah.
Which?
I was going to give you a moment to rant about your feelings about New Year's Eve, but...
No, I won't.
Okay.
I'll refrain. But it is a stupid holiday. And I think this movie proves just how stupid it is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Welcome to Bad Movie Date Night, the only and best podcast with a husband and wife watching terrible movies and sharing their thoughts and opinions with you, the listener. I'm still Nigel from ajourneyintofilm.com, despite the new year. And with me is Kaitlyn, who is also still Kaitlyn.
But not your wife.
Well, no, your wife. You are wife. You're my wife.
You are wife, Kaitlyn. Yeah, it's true. Because guess what? Just because it means there's a new year doesn't mean you're going to change. Surprise.
And thus concludes Kaitlyn's New Year's Eve rant.
It's true.
I liked that. Okay, so this week we're talking about the 1980 film New Year's Evil. I said I've had it with all these rom-coms that we've been watching, despite Kaitlyn saying, hey, we should watch New Year's Eve with 1,001 celebrities.
It's because it's so bad. It's
But
a mess of a movie.
I could not take one more rom-com. We had to go to the opposite end of our spectrum and do a horror movie again.
Yeah, which I'm glad we did.
I am too, because this movie was a disaster.
It was. It was a giant disaster.
This movie was directed by Emmett Alston, who has never done anything else. Written by Leonard Neubauer and Emmett Alston, who has also done nothing else.
So they made this movie and then they're like, meh.
Well, no,
We're good.
like Emmett Alston, he's done stuff, but I've never heard of any of them.
Okay.
And same thing with the Leonard guy. He wrote for like 9 different things, and this is the last thing that he did.
Oh, wow.
Starring Roz Kelly, Kip Niven, Chris Wallace, Grant Cramer, and actually, let's just stop there. Nobody else.
That's really the only main people.
Right. And honestly...
Oh, he died this year.
Whoa, that's crazy.
It
Kip
is
Niven,
crazy.
who plays Richard Sullivan in this film, died this year. R.I.P.
Yeah.
How fitting that we did this movie.
This podcast is in remembrance of Kip Niven.
Right? He looks a lot like in this movie, he looks a lot like Billy Crudup. But you know who else I realize he looks like when he has the mustache?
Ew.
I gotta look at, who's that guy?
Who's that guy?
Robert
It's
Carlyle,
Robert Carlyle.
who you might know from Trainspotting. And he played Begbie.
Yeah.
And he was also in Once Upon a Time as Rumpelstiltskin. But
I could see it.
that's not what we're talking about for this. We're talking about Kip Niven.
Kip Niven.
This was a confusing movie to watch, Kaitlyn.
It was so confusing and so great, but mostly confusing.
Right. I would definitely watch this movie again.
Oh, yeah. I think we should make it our New Year's Eve tradition. It would make me hate New Year's less if we just watch this movie.
And we should time it so that the killer kills someone at midnight on the East Coast, just like he does in this movie.
Or we could go to bed at a reasonable hour.
This is true, too. I just wanted to say that Roz Kelly was also on 3 episodes of Happy Days as Pinky Tuscadero.
Ah, okay. Full circle. Not really, but I do remember that.
And she was also in Blanksy's Beauties.
She was Fonzie's girlfriend, Pinky. Yeah.
Fonzie Loves Pinky, Part 1, 2, and 3.
That's crazy.
Too bad she was in, 15 minutes of this movie's tops.
Oh, because she was the nurse that died.
No, she was the main girl.
So she was... Well, she was in longer than...
No,
Well,
because
you're
this
right.
movie is So here's the basic premise of this movie. This woman, Roz Kelly, plays Diane Sullivan, who is a disc jockey for, an MTV-style show.
Right.
Kaitlyn did not know what a disc jockey was.
Stop.
She thought it was some kind of horse thing
No, we don't need
where
to talk
you
about that.
played ring toss with horses. Am I remembering that correctly?
It's frisbee.
Frisbee with horses. That's what a disc jockey is.
Because it's a disc. And then the sport jockey where they ride horses.
Right. Right. It makes sense. That's definitely a real thing.
Oh, gosh.
So Diane Sullivan is a disc jockey for this MTV style
Not
hit
the
show.
horse disc jockey.
Not the horse disc jockey. Although I feel like we just invented a new sport.
I want
that
credit
should
for
definitely
it.
exist. They play the top hits of the year up until midnight on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, a killer who calls himself Evil.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Because he's got this little voice thing. Says he's going to kill someone at midnight in every time zone leading up to killing her at midnight on the West Coast.
And what was the first question you had?
The first question that I had was, how is he going to travel from the East Coast to the West Coast in 4 hours?
And that's a valid question.
Yes. So the way that they present this movie, it makes it seem like he is traveling from time zone to time zone, killing someone she cares about, and at midnight in that time zone.
Yeah, didn't he say, it'll be someone you know, or... I don't know. I feel like he said something that was someone you care about will die at midnight.
I meant to go back and find out, but I forgot.
I feel like he says that, though.
Right. And I feel like the nurse he cares about, but then it all kind of goes downhill after that first kill.
Right.
Also, I feel like the first kill was on the East Coast.
It had to have been.
But then...
Unless they were watching, the East Coast one, but why would they be watching the East Coast?
I don't know. This doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. Maybe to trick the patients to go to bed earlier?
Yeah, I thought about that, but...
Well, that's just horrible. And I put way too much thought into that.
Yeah, there was no evidence for that. So, that being said, Kaitlyn, do you have any further initial thoughts?
I think... Well, no, I don't have any further initial thoughts. I just have ways to improve the movie, but we can get to that later.
I can't wait because
It's
we haven't
not
done
great.
that in a while.
It's not great. It's just logic. How can you improve this movie? Use logic.
Quadruplets?
Yeah, that's not what I was going to say, but we'll get to it.
Okay. So this movie is also a Friday the 13th ripoff. Because...
this music.
Well, okay. So the first scene in the movie, we're introduced to Diane's friend, Yvonne.
Which we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know this woman.
She's got puka hair.
She's got puka shells in her hair. She's black. She's hanging out in her dressing room. They're on the phone. She's in the bathroom. She's not really like getting ready. She's just kind of looking at herself.
Yeah.
And then she goes to open up the. She goes to get in the shower, and someone kills her in the shower. Mm-hmm. All the while, there's something making that like. You know, from like the Friday the 13th movies.
Right.
Don't know why. I don't know how she doesn't see him in the shower, but she did.
Yeah, because well, I don't know how he got in her room in the first place, but she goes to check the front door, sees that nobody's there, goes back, and the faucet is dripping in the shower, and she literally pulls back the curtain to turn off the faucet. And this is a grown man we're talking about, and she doesn't even see him.
Right.
That's crazy.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
Now, two things. There are two things that I love about a good 80s horror film. The first one is a theme song that says the name of the movie in the theme song.
Yeah, that's a good one.
The second thing is when they do a freeze frame of the first kill of the movie.
Yeah.
And the like title pops out of the person's mouth as they're screaming or something like that.
Yeah.
This movie had one of those things.
I like the outfits.
80s, you like 80s outfits?
They never disappoint me. I always say, why are they wearing that? Every time.
Yeah, that's true.
Never disappoint.
I was trying to figure out her dress in this movie.
I know.
Diane's.
It was very weird.
It was kind of like a two-piece with like sleeves.
Yeah.
But not gloves.
No.
Just long sleeves.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah. It was very slimming on her.
Yeah.
But she's a very slender woman.
Yeah. She is.
And that's all I have to say about that.
But right, you can always look for some good 80s outfits.
Right. And some good music, usually.
And some great music.
This movie had some fantastic music because it was like a combination of punk new wave and your typical synthesizer.
I love that. That should be a requirement in an 80s movie. I freaking love that. That is amazing.
Yeah, I love that. But this movie did not have a freeze frame. So I was disappointed. This movie is basically garbage from like the 2 minutes in.
No.
Because there was no freeze frame.
But the music. Talk about the song.
I don't even remember the song. I just remember
Ninjas evil.
Now it just sounds like TerrorVision when you sing it like
no.
that.
I feel like it was like that though. It was something like
Yeah, but it was more like
more rocky.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Go look it up. It's a good song.
It's pretty good. The soundtrack for this movie was never actually released, despite all of the songs being played by a Los Angeles local band called Shadow. I don't know why they didn't release it. Maybe I read that somewhere. Maybe I have it open somewhere. I don't know.
But they didn't release it.
Yeah.
So now we'll never know.
Oh, here's a fun fact from Wikipedia. A 35mm print of this played at Quentin Tarantino's New Beverly Cinema in Los Angeles on December 29th, 2018.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I wonder if he likes this movie.
It would not surprise me. Oh, here we go. There was a vinyl version of this, but the announced soundtrack for this movie was never made.
Okay.
Despite statements in the closing credits of the film. Regardless, go to YouTube, look up the song. Even better, go to Amazon Prime, watch this movie, and then you can listen to all of the songs from this movie.
I agree. Do it.
So we're introduced to Diane. She's getting ready for her show. Her son comes in, Derek, and he is extra needy for attention.
Yeah.
Granted, she does not give him any attention.
Right.
But he is very needy for attention.
Well, yeah. Yeah, like, I get it, but, like, I also don't. Like, he's needy for attention, but, like, he's probably, what, like, 22, 23?
He's easily old enough to have his own job.
Right, and his own friends that he could, like, tell things to.
Yeah. but his mom is his best friend.
It kind of felt that way, but like only one-sided.
Let's talk about something for a second.
Okay.
This movie falls into the trope of horror movies in which the killer is someone who is abused by a woman growing up. And
What was going on in the 80s? Because I feel like that's like every 80s movie.
I don't know. It's like every 80s horror director saw Psycho and was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's what was going on in Black Christmas, despite us knowing nothing about the killer.
Yeah. You're probably right. That was a good movie.
Yeah, and in a weird sort of way, I guess Friday the 13th kind of subverted that because she loved her son to the point of killing people.
Yeah. Which is also an unhealthy parenting style, but...
Right. All right. I have a question for you real quick.
All right. Shoot.
We've watched horror movies now for Valentine's Day, Halloween, multiple ones for Halloween.
Right.
I mean, go figure. Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
Christmas, and now New Year's.
Yeah.
What is your favorite of all of those? And what is your least favorite? And why?
I really liked the Christmas one that we watched.
Black Christmas.
And like
The original, not the 2006 remake or the new remake.
Right. And I also think Krampus would fit into that.
Oh yeah, Krampus
so I really
would fit
liked
into
that. But I also really liked Valentine. Was it Valentine's Day or just Valentine?
I think it's Valentine's Day.
I think you're right. But I really enjoyed that one too. So those are like my top two. This one was good too. I'll tell you what I don't like. Thanksgiving.
You would rather watch this over Thanksgiving?
Yes. Hands down.
That's a really tough call for me.
Oh, that's an easy call for me.
This one, okay, at least like Thanksgiving tried to be kind of funny. But this was just like, we're going to make a really serious horror movie with all of the tropes, but it's not going to be good.
Yeah, but that's okay. I still liked it more.
I think now that I know what was going on in this movie, I might enjoy it better a second time. But Thanksgiving, I think I would just not want to watch again.
Right. I don't want to watch Thanksgiving again. I would watch this every New Year's Eve. I think Raka has something to say.
Yeah. Can't watch Thanksgiving 3 with you next year.
Thanksgiving 3? Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. See, that's how much I don't want to watch this movie.
Cool. Well, I was just curious. I think Krampus is my favorite.
Yeah, Krampus is great. I liked Black Christmas too, though.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Mm-hmm. Pretty good. I think, though, for me, it would go Krampus, Valentine's Day, Black Christmas, this movie, Thanksgiving. I'm not including Halloween because that goes without saying.
Too many.
It's too specific.
Yeah.
All right. So Diane Sullivan, she is the first lady of rock, Blaze. She doesn't say it like that, but I feel like that's how you have to say someone's name when they call themselves Blaze.
Right.
It's like this weird sort of like punk rock new wave show where she's taking phone calls where people are requesting songs.
Right.
But she says something about doing like a top 10 countdown.
Yeah.
But they don't really do anything to show you that she's doing a top 10.
No.
In fact, she spends very little time doing her job in this. She spends more time... Okay, first of all, she's not in this movie a whole lot.
No.
We follow the killer 80% of the time.
Yeah. Remember when they just, like, show the killer's face?
Right? I thought that was going to be a misdirection.
Yeah, it
But
wasn't.
it
It
wasn't.
was like, here's the killer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they show him, like, 80% of the time. And then they show her, like, 19% of the time. And then Derek 1% of the time.
Yeah.
Which, why Derek was in this movie at all?
To set up a sequel.
To set up a sequel that never came.
Right.
And we'll talk about that. Because I feel like we just spoiled a lot. Anyways, so that's like a hotline show, and she gets a call from the killer who calls himself Evil. And he's got this like little voice thingy that makes his voice sound like he's talking through a like.
He kind of sounds like
You know when people
Stephen
like
Hawking's?
they have to use those like voice box things when they smoke too many cigarettes and they have the hole in their throat?
Yeah.
That's what he sounds like.
Yeah.
Let's go back for a second.
Okay.
One of my favorite lines in this movie is when the son says,
Oh, yeah.
I have good news. And the mom goes, that's nice.
That's like any conversation with your dad, though.
Oh, that's true. Let's hope that this isn't the first episode he chooses to listen to.
Okay.
That'll happen.
That's a nice thought. Okay.
That's nice.
He like comes in and he's all excited and he's like, Mom, I've got great news. And she goes, that's nice.
All right. To be fair, in the mom's defense, she's like getting ready to do her job. And he's like, I have to tell you this great thing right now.
Right.
As if the only time they ever see each other is backstage at her job.
And she did say, like, let's go out to eat after this and you can tell me all about it.
Right. And like the dad was going to be there too.
Yeah.
Which, like, part of the whole beginning of the movie is like, hey, have you seen my husband? Oh, he's sick in his room or whatever in Palm Springs or somewhere.
Yeah. Which, that was weird.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it did not.
A lot of this podcast is just going to be like, this doesn't make any sense.
Because the movie did not make any sense.
It does not. So the killer calls her on the phone. And is like, I'm going to commit murder. Which is a phrase that I've never heard a killer say in a movie. They're always like, I'm going to kill people.
I just wanted someone to, like, hang up as soon as the killer calls them.
Yeah.
Like in Scream. Like, what's your favorite scary movie? Click. Like, does it derail their whole plan?
Probably not, but I feel
they'll
like...
just murder them anyway. But, like, I feel like it would really make them mad, though.
Yeah. I feel like that's, like, meant to build suspense for the audience more than the character.
Right, and I get that, but, like, why do these killers go through so much work?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of like, why do these killers in these movies keep wearing masks when, in real life, if you're going to kill someone, why does it matter if you're wearing a mask?
This guy, he gets it. He wears a mustache for one of them, which makes
changes
a lick of
costumes
sense.
a lot.
Yeah, not even costumes. He changes his clothes.
Yeah.
A lot, which makes zero sense. He puts on a mustache, which makes
He puts on
zero
that
sense.
mask at the end, which
made zero sense.
Yeah, I don't know why he put that mask on.
And then, like, why would you be, like, married to somebody who's like, I got this mask? I would not be married to someone who had that mask because I'd be like, they're a serial killer.
I don't know why. They gave a lot of attention to that mask for it not having any significance.
I know.
The band plays the song New Year's Evil again.
New Year's Evil.
To the tune of TerrorVision.
I know.
And we go to a sanitarium.
Yeah.
And we see the killer.
Well, okay, so he calls and he tells Blaze, he's like, I'm going to commit murder in every time zone at midnight.
Right.
Which makes me think he's going to kill someone in that time zone. Because
Physically in that time zone.
Well, because he says, I'm going to kill someone in the in that time zone.
Yeah. At midnight in each
at
time
midnight.
zone.
Okay, I'm going to kill someone at midnight in each time zone.
Which makes you think that physically
he will kill someone
in each time zone at midnight.
Right. I think a normal person would think that.
Right. Now, here's where it gets a little hinky with that.
Yes.
So he's at the sanitarium. He's like seducing this nurse with some drinky drink. He's like, hey, I got some champagne before my shift.
Oh, that girl's an idiot.
Well, yeah. And she starts drinking out of the paper cups they give the patients.
Right.
But then at midnight.
Right, at midnight.
They all give them hats and they all start blowing noise blowers or
Right.
whatever. And they're watching TV
Right.
that shows that it's midnight.
Right.
So for that time zone, which would be the East Coast, it has to be midnight where they are. Why would they be watching East Coast
Right.
New Year's Eve party thing when it's not midnight if they were in Los Angeles.
Right.
Because the next 3 kills are in Los Angeles.
Right. And we never see him, like, board a plane.
We see him in a car.
Right, but we never see him, like, board a plane for... Because, like, I could believe he did 1 kill on the East Coast and then makes it to the West Coast. Actually, I don't know how much time it takes to fly from East to West Coast.
I think it takes, like, a solid 3 hours.
I don't know how far behind California is from...
3 hours.
Oh, so he'd be... No, so there's no way. There's no way.
There's no way that this would be physically possible to do.
No. So, good try, movie.
Yeah, that was just
But
odd.
not really good try.
Because then after that, we know, based on him watching the time, that each kill is at, like, 10, 11, and then 12.
Yeah. So he kills this nurse, and he records it because he carries around a tape recorder, and then he plays it for for Blaze.
Yeah.
He calls Blaze back and is like, "Hey, listen to this first kill I just made.
I killed this person,
Right.
and this is where you can find the body."
Right.
And then they call the police, and the police are like, "Oh, snap, there is a body. I guess we better watch you for protection."
Right. Because she tries to tell the police before, and they're like, "No, your audience that you appeal to is just crazy." So
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they're not wrong.
Right. Right.
The audience she appeals to is kind of crazy.
But I feel like nowadays, if someone said that, they would be watched immediately.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But
they
what
would
do I
also
know?
probably have the technology to hunt that person down, like,
Yeah,
very
because don't you
quickly.
think they had cameras in a sanitarium
Probably.
back then? Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they have cameras in the elevator at the hotel.
Yeah, so they would have definitely had cameras in a sanitarium back then.
Yeah.
So they could have just got the videotape and be like, "Do you recognize this guy?"
The police in this movie
Are
are
idiots.
110% incompetent.
Yeah. The motorcyclists make better policemen than the policemen.
That's true, but they're just kind of like outlaw justice, where they'll just kill anyone who knocks over their bike.
He ran into them.
He did. But he also
I mean,
knocked
that's
over the
not-
bike.
Reason for murder, but
Yeah. So, the music doesn't match the instruments part of the time. Mm-hmm. Which I thought was kind of funny.
just goes to show how great this movie is.
Yeah. Here's a question, which you would know. Working in a mental health field, is it safe to give patients at a sanitarium noisemakers like they did? Because I saw that and I said, should they do that?
I don't think they would, no. Well,
That's what
I
I was
don't think
thinking.
the string around the hat.
That
I
was
would-
probably not safe either.
No.
They gave them party hats.
Yeah, no.
This movie also posits that noisemakers are louder than a woman screaming.
Yeah. There's a woman screaming as she's being stabbed, and all you hear are noisemakers. Don't buy it.
This movie is also wildly inconsistent with how they describe the murders.
Yeah.
Because she looks like when we see her getting killed, she is stabbed dozens of times. Like at each stroke of midnight.
And
basically.
he had to have had blood splattered on him from
Fact.
that.
That's true. But then when we find the body, her throat has been slit.
Yeah. That doesn't
Why
make
would you
sense.
need to do that if you stab this person a dozen times?
Right.
So then we watch Derek, the son. He is sitting in the mom's dressing room talking to himself about, I don't remember
That
what.
was weird.
I don't know. This does not make any sense to have been included with the movie. But he's sitting there rubbing like red pantyhose on his face.
Puts it over his
and
head.
then pulls them over his head and then pierces his own ear with like it looks like the kind of pin you'd use to put like a boutonniere on a jacket.
It
That
made
was something.
0 sense.
No, it didn't.
And like you think like, oh, he's just going to be practicing for this part he got because he's an actor.
Yeah.
Or you think like he's the killer.
He also has like blood running down his neck from the ear piercing. And later
That's
when the mom
not how
sees
ear
him,
piercings work either.
this is true. But when the mom sees him later, there's no blood on him.
Right. So that scene was pointless.
Yeah. But, okay, so here's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering if originally they were like, hey, he is going to kill someone on each time zone. But plot twist, there's multiple people involved, and the son's going to kill her on the West Coast.
Yeah.
But
That would
then,
make sense.
At some point, they said, no, I have a better idea.
Let's just make it happen.
Let's just make it, let's just make it who it is.
Our audience isn't smart enough to figure it out.
Yeah, but then they realized that it didn't make sense. Favorite line in the movie is, "Are creeps for real?"
Who says that?
One of the police officers. He's like, "Well, we found the body. Are creeps for real?" Oh, you think? You showed up to investigate it. You don't want to just assume that this might be serious?
Nah.
It's 1980. People have been murdered before.
Yeah. Are you exasperated?
I am. This movie, everyone in this movie is a moron.
This is very true. Very true.
So the killer, goes to this bar, puts on a fake mustache in like a leisure suit type thing. Not like a leisure suit, but he's got like the suit with like the collar open, and he's
Right.
like, I'm a cool businessman with my mustache.
Right.
And he meets this girl. Now, at this point, he's still supposed to be killing people that are close to Diane.
Question mark? Because we don't know if that nurse is.
Yeah, I think she was more concerned about Yvonne still than she was the nurse.
Right.
Right?
Yeah, and well, I don't want to spoil. Well, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to say it. He was in a sanitarium. So wouldn't he just be closer to that nurse? I mean, I don't even know if that was the sanitarium he was in, but like I feel like that was more of a murder connected to him than it was.
Did he really go to a sanitarium?
Yeah, you didn't hear that part?
I don't know. I was still trying to figure out
He
this
used to
entire
be
movie.
Yeah, because they said the police find out his name and they're like he used to be a patient at a mental institution.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I
so
don't think that actually happened.
it did. The police said that. So I feel like the first, well, technically second murder was closer to. And technically he didn't kill someone at midnight in every time zone because he had already killed Yvonne.
Yeah, that was weird.
So I don't know. This movie has no idea what's going on.
Well, yeah. Okay, so then he kills... So he picks up this girl at the bar. He's like, hey, I got this cool party to go to. You want to go? And she's like, okay, but my friend has to go.
And this girl talks like Tilly.
Jennifer Tilly.
Jennifer
She kind
Tilly.
of sounds like Jennifer Tilly, but like
does.
more annoying.
But yes, oh my gosh, it was so annoying.
And less raspy.
Yeah, less raspy, but just very high pitched.
And she talks nonstop
Yeah.
about new age nonsense. And you can tell he is over it.
Yeah. Why does he pick this girl up? Well, like at the end, he just goes like, all women suck. So I think if you were a woman that night, like you just probably gonna get murdered.
Probably. But at midnight. So if you were away from him at midnight, you were probably safe.
Yeah.
Minus Yvonne.
Yeah. So
He
takes them in their car.
takes him in the car. They stop because the one girl's got a potty.
Well, they stop and he's like, we're never gonna make it to like the killing location on time.
Yeah, he is looking at his clock. He's like, there's no way we're going to make it to where I'm going to kill these people. Which, why he had a separate place to take. This seems like a very loosely structured plan.
And we forgot to mention, this girl goes with him in the car and she's like, but we have to bring my roommate.
I said that.
Oh, okay. So there's two girls now in the car.
Yeah, so the one girl has to potty, I think.
Yeah, the roommate has to potty.
And he's like, oh, pick up some alcohol in there. We'll make this a real party. Mm-hmm. While she's inside, he murders the other girl by suffocating her with a bag of weed.
Yes.
Then the other girl comes out, sees that the car and the girl are missing, says, I'm going to go look for them.
Instead of going back inside.
With the giant man
Yeah.
working the store.
Who could have protected her.
Easily.
Okay, so like, okay, I get it a little bit. Okay? So like, you're like, oh my gosh, the car's missing, my friend's gone. So you go walking a little bit, and you find her shoe. You turn around right that second and you march your butt back into the...
Exactly. You call the police.
Right.
This girl is dumb.
This girl's so dumb, so I did not feel bad.
But she seemed to be the rational one out of
know,
the two.
I know.
What is she thinking?
I don't know. So she goes to find her roommate, and she finds like blood coming out of a trash can with her roommate's dress. Opens it.
Dude's inside and pulls her in and kills her in the dumpster.
Yeah. And he like lights a match by his face. So he now is covered in blood and garbage, but apparently not.
Yeah. He also has a mobile shower in the back of his car.
Apparently. So then he's changing his clothes. How were the police called? Because you hear sirens as he's changing.
That's true. I don't know who called the police.
No, because he plays the tape. To,
Right.
And he tells them exactly where they are.
But he doesn't leave before he changes.
No, which was weird.
Yeah.
So he's like changing into his new outfit and the police are coming by. The police find these women. The one was like, what, laying on the ground dead?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. No, she was standing up on a pole dead.
Oh, and then the other girl was on
down a
the
slide.
slide. Right.
At perfect timing to scare the police. Wah, ha, 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 ha.
Yeah.
Oh, that was rough.
That was rough. So he dresses up like a priest. And let's talk about something for a second.
Yeah, what was his plan with that one? That one never went through.
There was a nun. He was looking at a book, and there was like a nun in it.
Yeah, she got off.
Yeah, she was safe. Because she's a woman of God. Okay, so let's talk about something for a second.
Yes.
So they're like, oh, we found the bodies. And the guy's like, is it the same MO? And they're like, yep.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, there are 3 dead people.
Right.
One girl...
Technically 4, but we only know 3.
For fact. One girl was stabbed and then miraculously had her throat slit instead of stabbed.
Right.
One girl was choked to death.
Right.
With 0 stabbings.
Right.
And then the third girl looked like she was stabbed in the boob.
Yeah.
And they said, same MO? Sure. Why not?
Right. They're all women.
They all later say that he, like, mutilates their breasts. And it's like, we did not see that.
No.
There was 0 evidence on any of the bodies that you showed us to evidence that their breasts were mutilated.
Right.
One girl got stabbed in the boob. Don't think that counts as mutilation.
No.
These police are
idiots.
morons.
Oh.
So he's driving along as a priest. P.S. We've spent like maybe 10 minutes with Diane at this point.
Right, we have no idea
It's literally just her having conversations with the police. Mm-hmm. At one point they say, hey, keep him on the phone as long as possible. We'll figure out where he is. That goes nowhere.
Right.
And then at that point it's just like, well, we might as well just sit here and wait for him to show up and then we'll stop him.
Yeah.
That's pretty much their plan without them saying what their plan is. He accidentally knocks over this motorcycle bike of these motorcyclists. And they're like, we're going to get you. So he starts driving away and running from them. Mm-hmm. They follow him. He hides in a drive-in theater, gets out of his car, breaks into the car of this couple who's smooching up. Mm-hmm. The guy, intelligently, jumps out of the car. Girl is like, I better cover up first.
Yeah, she got like her top
naked.
off. And she's like, let me button this up.
Yeah, she's got a cardigan on. Right. She could just very easily wrap up, jump out of the car, be safe. Right. He gives her plenty of time to do that.
Plenty of time.
But instead, she's almost like, I'm going to see where this goes.
My first date wasn't working out. We'll see where this one goes.
Yeah. So then he's driving along. He stops at a red light, or he gets stopped by the bikers. No. He kills one of the bikers at the movie theater.
Yeah, he kills him.
And then he leaves. And I guess they leave him alone.
Yeah. Why does he stop? Like, because he almost hits
those
people?
He almost hits those 2 drunk people.
Obviously swerved this way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where the road was. It looked like he was purposely pulling over.
Yeah. But she gets out of the car because these 2 drunk guys stop him.
Finally smart.
Yeah. And he's like, oh no, I'm going to miss my 11 o'clock kill. Mm-hmm. Oh, he gets out of the car and chases after her. Mm-hmm. The police somehow find him.
Yeah.
Because I guess the police are just hanging out where he happens to be.
Yeah, because the two drunk guys get the attention of the police, and they tell him, "Hey, he ran down there."
Yeah.
They start following him.
Yeah.
Girl's hiding under like a baseball shed, and the police come running, and he's there trying to like get her to come out so he can murder her. And the police are like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Which his method of getting her out is just throwing trash at the baseball shed.
If I throw enough trash in here, she'll have
I
to
bet
come
eventually she'll get out because it'll stink enough.
She'd rather be murdered than smell bad.
Yeah, that's exactly how this goes.
So, like, she can easily identify him because she saw his face several times.
Yeah.
So
the police even approach her.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Hey, are you okay?" And at this point, killer is gone.
Right.
Cut to the hotel.
So he misses his 11 o'clock kill.
Yeah, he doesn't kill the 11 o'clock girl. Oh
Okay.
no, his plan's falling apart, even though
Right.
it doesn't seem like he really had much of a plan to begin with.
No.
His plan was probably like, you know what, I'm going to kill someone on every hour. I got some costumes.
We'll see where this goes.
Let's just see where this goes. The police are like, all right, we haven't caught this guy yet because you've done nothing. But
Right.
okay. And they say, no one's getting in or out of the building. All the punk people are like, this is stupid. It's like, what have you guys been doing this whole time? Nothing.
Getting high and listening to music.
Right. He shows up to the hotel, kills a cop, sneaks in wearing his uniform.
He kills the cop so stupid. Okay, so there's two cops standing outside. A thin cop and a fat cop. I'm sorry, but it's just what it is. The thin cop the thin cop goes inside because he's like, now's a good time for a pee break.
Yeah.
When we're getting close to the hour of midnight. So he goes inside to pee.
Well, he was just getting ready.
And the fat cop's out there. And then he hears somebody yell, "Hey, can you help me over here? I think I found a drunk." And the cop, like an idiot, goes instead of waiting.
Let's clarify, it's the fat cop.
The fat cop. And instead of waiting for his partner to get back, just goes to find this person. And what's his name? Robert?
The killer?
Yeah.
We'll get there in a second. I'm keeping it a surprise for our listeners.
Well, the killer hits him in the head with a brick. And then puts on the policeman's uniform, which, remember, this was a fat cop, and his uniform fits perfectly.
But
and
then
this killer is very thin.
But then he walks right past the cop's partner, and the cop's partner doesn't say anything.
Yeah, he's like, where's my partner? Just head on in. You're a police officer.
Yeah.
And, like, you don't think that, like, police officers have each other's badge numbers, like, memorized or something?
Yeah,
or, like,
he should have seen, like, that his partner's name was on that name bat. Oh, my gosh.
Again, stupid.
He goes inside. And the mom she has to change. Diane has to change.
Because she's so sweaty.
Because she's so sweaty. She needs to put on a new outfit for her midnight announcement of midnight.
Yes.
And the police go with her. Derek's in the room, just hanging out, completely normal. Oh, yeah. You remember when he, like, took those pills?
What the heck? I forgot about that. At the very beginning of the movie, he takes, like, 4 pills, but I don't know why.
We don't know what's up with that.
No.
Was it because, are we supposed to think that he was crazy and he was taking his meds? Or was he, like, trying to kill himself?
I literally don't know. It could have been all of those things.
Right.
I don't know what they even wanted us to think. Maybe that he was crazy and he was taking his crazy pills. But, like, they're red capsules. Like, I don't know. To me, that's not any type of medicine.
It looked like Tylenol.
But, like, bright red.
Yeah, but, like, really big Tylenol.
Yeah. Giant, bright red Tylenol.
So, the cop's like, "Who's this?" And she's like, "That's my son. He's okay." And he's like, "All right, what's up, Mom? Hey, I have a surprise for you." And the mom's like, "Great, I'll see it later. Why don't you go leave?" And so he leaves. Police officer checks everything out, and she says, "Hey, I'm about to get naked. Can you wait out in the hall?" Which seems like a really stupid move.
Yeah, if you're about to get murdered, I'd be like, "Police officer, I'm about to change, so you're about to see stuff. Sorry."
Yeah, can you, like, stare at the corner, but, like, not stare at the corner,
right.
But, like,
I don't want to die.
And then, who comes out of the bathroom? Somebody in a mask. And you're like,
creepy mask.
Oh, snap. This is it. She's about to die. Mm-hmm. But it's like, who else in this movie could be wearing a mask?
Doesn't he have his knife out, too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Who takes off the mask? The killer. Plot twist. You better turn off the podcast now if you don't want this spoiled for you. It's her husband.
Yeah.
Who's been killing people the entire time. What? And honestly, I was 0% surprised by it.
No, not at all.
It
Not
was at
even a
this
little
point that
bit.
I realized that he was just killing people on the time zone in Los Angeles.
Which,
Still doesn't make sense with
Nope.
the sanitarium, so we'll just ignore that for a second. But I was like, you know what? I wonder if her husband's killing people, because he hasn't been present this whole time.
right, and they make a big deal about him, like, not answering his phone and stuff, so.
Yeah. He has some, like, weird thing rigged up to the elevator to, like, make it go up and down really fast.
Also, he's like, sorry, hon, didn't mean to scare you. It was all our son's idea.
I was going to surprise you. And then the police officer's like, oh, hey, how'd you get in there? And the guy's like, her manager approved it.
Yeah, and then he radios. First smart thing a policeman does, radios to the other policeman who's with the manager.
To confirm the story.
First smart thing that happened by a police officer in this movie.
Right? Probably the only smart thing.
Probably.
And then,
And the manager did not okay it, just so we know.
yeah, spoiler alert. It was not okayed by the manager. So then, where do we go from there? Oh,
He had... I don't know.
I don't remember. But next thing we know, she's in the elevator with a police officer, and it starts going haywire because Richard's doing something. And then Richard
Yeah, I guess she
gets
just
her.
gets back into the elevator with the police officer, and he's like sticking screwdrivers into the
Yeah, he's like
elevator
messing
thing.
with wires to like override the elevator.
And
then
it literally just jolts, and they
it just
pass out.
shakes and they fall over, passed out.
Okay.
Yeah. So then we find out that Richard hates women because his mom was manipulative and abusive, and he married his mom, which, surprise, is something that like a lot of people do. Mm-hmm. They marry their parents. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, guess what? Your son got this lead role in a TV show without using his last name. Don't know why that's important, but apparently it was,
Right.
to show that the son is capable of doing more. And his whole plan is to chain her up to the bottom of this elevator and drop her so that she lands splat at midnight.
Like the ball dropping.
Like the ball dropping. The police catch him. They...
Oh, and while she's going up in the elevator, she sees Yvonne's head.
in the elevator, which doesn't make any sense.
Nope. How did he get that in the elevator?
How did he get her head down in there? I don't know. But it was not shocking.
No.
So then they chase him. He goes up to the roof. He throws himself off the roof.
The son sees him on the ground, dead.
Yes, the son sees him on the ground dead, and then the son takes it on himself to put on his father's mask, and he drives off.
He kills the ambulance driver.
Right, and then the son is now driving the ambulance
Right.
into the night.
And we
End
don't know
of
what's going to
movie.
happen.
We have no idea.
He
Until
probably
New
killed
Year's
her.
Evil Part 2. Except there never was one.
That's probably because their first plot point was so messy.
This was a very messy movie.
It was very messy.
So here's my question for you, Kaitlyn. How would you improve this movie?
Oh, like I said, it's just logic. I would just put a time machine in, because that would that make the most sense. Because then he could go, like, he could travel in time and make all the murders in each location.
Okay.
Boom, problem solved.
I have two different better ideas.
Okay.
First one, you find out Richard is quadruplets.
Also good,
Okay?
but no time machine, so
Right. But Diane doesn't know that he's quadruplets.
okay.
Turns out all four of them have just been rotating lives, just swapping lives, taking little like life vacations with each other
That's
their entire
crazy.
lives. Okay?
Okay.
One of them, no, three of them are like, we hate Diane.
Okay.
She's literally the worst.
Okay.
We want nothing to do with her. Mm-hmm. And we think we need to kill her.
Okay.
Then, at the end, one of them's about to be killed, and the one that still loves Diane comes to save her. And that's when we find out that there's quadruplets. And they, like, have to fight amongst each other.
That'd be good.
But then, we don't know. At the only one is left living at the end. But we don't know if it's
Which
the
one?
good brother or the bad brother.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, alternative, it's a Crazy Ex situation. Led by the dad.
Oh, that would be good too.
And he's got people killing people. It's like a society of people who hate Diane.
That'd be good too. I like the time machine idea the best though. What doesn't make a movie better than time travel?
Okay, hold on a second.
Okay.
Hold on. What if there's a time machine and they use it to pick up 4 different versions of him from different points in his life?
That would be cool.
Still quadruplets. Still a time machine.
That'd be good.
Boom skis.
I like it.
I do too. Do you wish that we had watched Terror Train instead?
No. I'm so happy we watched this movie.
Well, we'll have to save Terror Train for next New Year's Eve.
But I am excited to watch Terror Train. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
And trains. I'm a big fan of movies on trains.
Yeah. Snowpiercer.
Murder on the Orient Express.
I didn't. Did I watch it? Yeah, I did
Yeah,
watch
we
that.
did
I
one,
did
we
like that.
watch it. Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. There's really no couple left living at the end of this.
No.
Do you think Diane will make it work with her next significant other?
No, because she dead. She dead.
Oh, yeah. They don't find her. They never show her being found at the end.
Diane?
Yeah. They stop the elevator, but then it, like, ends with him falling off the building. Blaze, the main woman.
Yeah, she's in the back of the ambulance.
Was she?
Oh, yes.
I thought it was just her husband that was in the back of the ambulance.
No. It was, oh, honey. What happened to you at the end of this movie?
I don't know. I just kind of checked out.
That's when they said the thing about the Santa. Well, a little bit earlier, they said the thing about him being in a mental institution. No, so the son is driving the ambulance and the mom's in the back. So it's implied that he's gonna like finish his dad's work and kill the mom.
I remember that now.
Okay.
I like it. I like thinking about it better if they like never find her though.
Yeah.
Because reasonably, there's no reason that they should have found her in the bottom of that elevator.
No.
There's nothing to evidence that she was even there.
Well, no. Well, that's not true because those 2 people were in the elevator and they heard her screaming. Yeah,
but they were drunk.
Yeah, but...
You think they're going to come forward and be like, we heard screaming?
Yeah, I do, actually.
Okay. Well, apparently you know drunk people better than I do.
I don't know. Oh.
Maybe Diane will make it work with her son.
That would be nice.
That'd be a nice happy ending for this movie. All right. Where are we going to put this on our definitive bad movie date night ranking list?
Probably an unpopular opinion with you. I would put it under Jason X. Or under The Wicker Man. I could do either one.
I feel like I would put it higher.
Okay.
Like, I'm thinking...
I just had a hard time putting it before the stuff.
Yeah, the stuff is a lot of fun.
And Battlefield Earth was fun.
Battlefield Earth is terrible. Yeah, you know what? Let's put this between the stuff and Jason X.
Okay. Yeah, I like that.
Because I'd rewatch it.
I would definitely rewatch this movie.
This makes less sense than Jason X. So it is more of a bad movie.
Mm-hmm.
But it is more of a ridiculous movie.
Mm-hmm.
No, Jason X is definitely very ridiculous.
It's Jason X in space, so yes.
Yeah, so let's put this under Jason X.
Okay.
It's a little bit more enjoyable than The Wicker Man.
The Stuff, Jason X, New Year's Evil.
Correct.
Okay.
And this will push The Wicker Man down.
Perfect.
That's so great.
It is. We haven't had a high one. Well, I guess we had Christmas Perfection up there.
Yeah. We haven't had a top one for a while.
No.
Not
But
since
how are you going to
TerraVision.
beat... How are you going to beat TerraVision? How are you going to beat Urban Legends? How are you going to beat Stalked by My Doctor, Patience Revenge?
Honestly,
How are you going to beat Chopping Mall?
okay. Like, realistically, Chopping Mall is like our
it's
biased
number
number
one.
one pick.
Always number one.
Right. But realistically, I look at this list as what's going to beat Stalked by My Doctor?
Nothing.
Probably nothing.
Unless we watch another Lifetime movie. It might
About
beat.
murder.
Yeah, it might beat it.
That's true. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, I'm excited for this new year of movie watching.
I know. This is so exciting.
I know.
I'm going to post something on Facebook about what movies we should do in the new year.
Yeah.
What are some bad movies that our fans enjoy?
If you guys pick 80 ones, that would make me so happy. I love a good 80s bad movie.
Yeah, samesies. That was a good
So
year
good.
for bad movies.
It was so good.
Well, this concludes 2019 for Bad Movie Date Night.
Whoa.
Not our first full year,
No.
but our first several months in a year of podcasting. And I enjoyed it a lot.
I enjoyed it. It's
I
fun.
like doing podcasts with you.
Yeah, it was fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Maybe we should talk more about dating next year, because I
Yeah.
think we set out to do that, and well, we'll see where it goes.
Valentine's Day, that's going to be a month.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be so great.
Yeah.
Talk about Valentine's Day.
That's a great movie.
All right, everybody. As usual, you can not like us, but you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts or Stitcher or Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you do that, you'll never miss out on a new episode. Or if you prefer to download them as they come, you can follow us on Facebook and Instagram, where you'll never miss a notification about Bad Movie Date Night or ajourneyintofilm.com. You can find some crazy t-shirts on ajourneyintofilm.com/store. And you know what? Why don't you go ahead and leave some pretty awesome reviews for us on Apple Podcasts, because then our show will be more discoverable to people, which is kind of a big deal if you're doing a podcast.
It is.
We want more people to listen to it. You want more people to listen to it. It's a win-win situation. And you can also become patrons to the show by going to patreon.com/ajourneyintofilm, where you can get right now you can just give us money, which,
Just give us money.
we deserve.
How about if you go to patreon.com and have a donation of $10 or more, you'll get a free t-shirt.
Well, I can't set it up that way yet.
But we should.
Well, yeah, I'd love to give away some cool stuff to people who become patrons.
Yes.
We'll have to figure out how to do that.
All right, let's do it.
I think that's all I have to say. Do you have anything to say?
Happy New Year. New Year, same you.
I'm over it.